Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I am so excited because I'm going to be comparing the Morphe 18W Natural Wonder palette against the Glaminatrix Nearly Natural palette. So if you want to see how these compare, what are the swatches like, price differences, formula differences, then just keep on watching. So the Morphe 18W Natural Wonder palette is $20. It's very accessible. You can find it at Ulta. It has 18 beautiful shades, and we know Morphe is a crappy corporation owned by Forma Brands and they suck. But I'm looking at this as a regular eyeshadow palette, not by Morphe, so we're just gonna deal with it as we go on. I did buy this before I knew Morphe was crappy, so this palette leans more neutral pink with a pop of purple in it, but the purple leans more pink. I definitely like this palette. I like the price point and I like how accessible it is. Some Targets now have Morphe products in them because they have Ultas in them, so it's pretty accessible to the public, whereas this palette, the Glaminatrix Nearly Natural palette, you can only get it on Glaminatrix website. It is freaking stunning though. This palette retails for $47.84 US. However, Glaminatrix shipping is pretty pricey at above $20 or exactly $20. You can use discount codes. I personally don't think they help much, but you can use them. This palette features 15 beautiful shades and it leans more neutral with pops of pink, green, and this kind of silvery purple shade. Now these palettes together, I calculated a total of 8 similar shades. Some of them are more closer than others, and I will swatch those together so you can just see for yourselves. But looking at them side by side, you can definitely see some comparisons, especially in the packaging. I definitely think Morphe was trying to dupe this palette. I'm not gonna even lie. I think that's what they were going for, minus the greens. And when I saw this palette, that's what I immediately thought of, and that's where my brain immediately went. So I don't know if it was done on purpose. To me, definitely seems like it was, considering packaging is basically very similar. And these eye looks are from these palettes, so if you want to see that, then keep on watching. Right now I'm going to swatch the 8 similar shades and the palette as a whole together so you can see. I love both of these. Definitely think this one was extremely pricey and it took a really long time to get to me. So if you don't want to wait that long and you don't want to pay that price, maybe check out this palette. Very accessible. I feel like you can swatch it at Ulta, but I'm not completely sure. I definitely enjoy both of them, but I feel like seeing the swatches side by side will definitely help you in the long run with this color story. It's a pretty big price difference. The shipping for the Glaminatrix is basically this palette, so I mean, it's up to you, the consumer, to pick which one you like. Obviously we know Morphe sucks, but if you like supporting indie brands, I love supporting indie brands. It's definitely a good option. The Glaminatrix shimmers are buttery, smooth, and soft and sparkly. Their mattes blend effortlessly. Morphe's formula is a little hit or miss. However, this palette is one that I enjoy using. Some of the shimmers in this palette don't perform as nicely as others. Some of them just look like a little wash of glitter, which I feel is a little odd for Morphe. I feel like they tried to really dupe out the Glaminatrix, but like just couldn't, because like the formula of the Glaminatrix ones are stunning and this one doesn't compare in terms of formula. You know, I definitely prefer the formula of this one so much more by like worlds. Not everyone has $60 to spend on an eyeshadow palette. That's why I made this video. So with that, let's get on to the eye look portion of this and see like what look I created that's similar to each other, and yeah, and then we can get into my final thoughts. Alright, so let's open these two palettes up together. I haven't done this. And like there are minor similarities, kind of. So we have Glaminatrix and we have Morphe. Definitely like similar tones. This one's definitely more of like neutral with a pop of pink, green, and a light purple shimmer. And then this one's definitely neutral with a pop of purple. I have two sets of similar brushes. I have blending brush and I have a packing brush. So I'm going to use for each. I know I like these brushes, so it's going to be pretty easy. And I'm going to use the similar shades in here to kind of see where we're at. Pretty similar, I mean, pretty fucking similar. So from this Morphe palette, I'm going to take this pink right here. It's called Precipice Kiss. And I'm taking that on the packing brush. And I'm just going to start packing that on the crease on the Morphe side, which is obviously going to be this side. I really like these Morphe shadows. Usually I'm not a fan of Morphe's shadows. I find them to be very inconsistent at times. And as we know, I'm not a fan of Morphe as a whole company. So, and just I haven't really been using this palette as much as I would like, because it is a beautiful palette. It does have some very beautiful shades. I just haven't been vibing with it as much as I have in the past. And for the Glaminatrix side, I'm going to use Untouched here. You can definitely see a difference in the pigmentation. Color is pretty similar though. I'm going to try to do the same technique. Gonna try to do the same eyeshadow. Obviously this one is gonna look more expensive, more luxe. We already went through like what shades are similar in here, so hopefully that helps you, you know, come up with a decision. This palette is pretty difficult to get as well. It's always sold out, so I feel like that also plays a factor in how you feel about this palette. Let's see if I can build up Precipice Kiss on this side more to match it more, just a little bit. I definitely can, which is pretty nice. And so far this looks like the exact same color on the eyes. So I'm gonna take the Glamlight 01 blending brush just to blend this out on this side lightly. You don't have to go ham, just to give it a nice edge over here. And we're definitely gonna play with the shimmers in both of these palettes to kind of see like what I like more. I also would like to kind of make this a little darker. However, I don't think I'm gonna be able to, because the sheer fact that the darker shades in here don't necessarily match the darker shades in here. Like I have this brown, but then this brown doesn't really match, so you can kind of see my struggle here. I do wish there was like a black in the Glaminatrix. I do like the colors in the Glaminatrix one, but I feel like we're lacking that similar brown tone. We have quite different tones in these palettes with a lot of similar tones as well, and you'll see that in the swatches. So now I'm blending out the Glaminatrix side. I am using the LBE1 from Lunar Beauty. That is a really long eyebrow hair, Jesus. Both sides blended out really nicely. I'm having no issues so far. I think it looks really nice on both sides of the eyes. I want to deepen this up. I know these shades aren't similar shades, but I'm going to take Off Trail from the Morphe palette, which is this one right here. That same packing brush, just so I can deepen out the outer edge just a tad. I need that little bit of depth, just enough to make it look similar but not the same. I feel like this is the shade that's really gonna change this look up just a little. So we're gonna pop that on the outer edge, take the blending brush, kind of blend them together just to deepen it up just a little. And then on the Glaminatrix side, I'm going to take this shade called Naturally, which is a little warmer than the Off Trail shade from the Morphe palette, but I need to deepen it just a little. Like I need to deepen it. It's just something I need to do, and I need to, you know, play around with both of these enough to see, like, do you need both? I don't really think so, but I feel like playing with different shades is definitely gonna allow me to see, like, in what way these are different. Like, already this side is more pigmented. That darker shade Naturally is more pigmented on this side than the brown Off Trail on the Morphe side, but again, they are different shades, so I don't know if that really helps us a lot. I'm gonna see if I can build up Off Trail on this side just so we can get like a nice deeper look on this side to match this side a little more. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but if we can make it look as close as possible, I feel like we got something going. Shimmer! This, for me, is the real problem here. I don't know how similar these shades are gonna look on the eyes. Obviously the Glaminatrix shimmers are so much more like pigmented and just so much more visible than the Morphe ones. It's not to say that the Morphe ones are bad or anything. I just feel like they are a bit lackluster compared to Glaminatrix ones. Obviously we're definitely struggling here, okay? We're definitely like, it's definitely not easy. It's funny because when you swatch these shades out, they don't look like anything close to what it is. Like, it doesn't look any type of similar, but it is similar. So before I put any shimmers down, I'm going to take my NYX glitter glue. You guys know I freaking love this. Mine is broken from the side, so it comes out from the side. Let me just show you real quick what I'm dealing with. It literally comes out from the side, so we're here. We're working with it right now. And it's a fucking mess and a fucking disaster, but whatever. We are here. We're here. It is what it is. So I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna take my finger and start patting all over the lid. And on the other eye, I'm just using the same finger. I don't think it matters too much. So on this Morphe side, I'm gonna take this shade called Strike Copper. And it's like a coppery shade. So we're gonna take that. I'm just using my finger and I'm packing this sort of on the center of the lid here, just working my way out and upward to the crease, just because I do like that look. And I'm leaving the inner portion kind of empty. I'm gonna wipe my finger. I have a makeup eraser with some micellar water on it to clean my finger off. On this eye, I'm going to take this shade called Raw, and obviously it's so much more foiled than the Morphe one, but the shade is pretty similar, which is why I'm taking it. It's kind of similar. That's great, because I was scared where this video was going. And now I'm gonna do something really crazy. You're gonna probably be like, what are you doing? I'm gonna take this shade called Stolen Thunder on my clean finger, and this is going right in the, you know, front of the eye. The sticky base definitely helps these shimmers perform better, look nicer on the eyes. So I'm just giving you a heads up that if you're a little bit underwhelmed with Morphe's shimmer formula, some glitter primer will definitely help. This is actually pretty, because sometimes I feel like a little underwhelmed with Morphe's formula. On the Glaminatrix side, I'm going to take Nearly Natural right here, and I know you're like, this shade does not look like that shade, but swatched out, they actually look pretty similar, so I figured we can just take this shade. Obviously this one's more foiled, but you can kind of see the similarities in both of the eye looks. So I'm just going to go over the entire eye look with the blending brush for the Glaminatrix side, and I'm going to go into the blending brush for the Morphe side and just kind of mesh all these things together. And we need to apply some inner corner shadows. For the Morphe eye, I'm going to use Sunstone right here at the top. It's like a champagne gold shimmer. I'm just taking a little brush. We're gonna apply that as an inner corner and brow bone highlight. I'm gonna wipe this brush till there's no excess product on it, and then I'm gonna take Naked Eye on the Glaminatrix palette very lightly because it's such a soft shade, and just pack that in the inner corner on the Glaminatrix eye and on the brow bone as well. Different but similar, you know, that's what I was going for. I knew that it wouldn't be completely the same, but I'm actually surprised with how close we could actually get it. So it's kind of shady on Morphe's end, because like, not only are these packagings very similar, like the look is very similar as well. So it's kind of like, it makes me want to be like, what was your goal here? I'm going to put on some lashes and mascara, some white eyeliner, and I will be right back. Okay, my lashes are on, and this is the final eyeshadow looks. I of course want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I obviously feel that this side is more impactful. It has more of a shimmer, which I know I love so very much. But this is not a bad option at all, especially for the price tag. You get very similar shades in here. I hate that the shade names are on a plastic sheet, but you know, I can get over that. It's a very nice color story. I feel like if you're wanting the Nearly Natural palette but can't justify spending that price on it, because I do know it ships from Australia. If you live in the US, that's a really big price in just shipping, and even if you live outside of Australia in general, it's a big price in shipping. Literally putting them together kind of speaks for themselves of how similar they are. You get more shades in the Morphe one for less. Obviously the formula isn't as creamy, it's not as buttery, it's not as sparkly. You don't need both is what I'm trying to say. Like, if you have this, you definitely don't need this, but if you get this, I don't think you need this. It's definitely a better formula. It's definitely more sparkly, easier to work with, but this isn't hard to work with by any means. I feel like they're both really good. I'm glad I was able to put these to the test. Of course, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I feel like my eye looks do look very different. This one looks more open than this one because of that sparkle. So I mean, it's definitely just what you're looking for in preference. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. Help a girl out. Thank you so much for watching this video, for clicking it, and for hanging out with me. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! Fuck. What are we doing? Today's video, let's start over. So if you want to see how these compare, the Morphe 18W Nearly Natural palette, Nearly Natural, what is wrong? I'm combining things. Some of the shimmers, and this just doesn't really compare in forms, and it doesn't really compare in. This is a very good video. Kind of similar. It's such a soft. I'll help a gal out, and I'm turning southern.